Hello, everyone. So nice to be with
Hey,
you guys.
hey, everybody.
It's summertime if you're with us live or listening to us pretty current. So if you're not, maybe you're, I don't know, binging our podcast from long ago and it's not summer anymore. But for a lot of us, we're at the kind of tail end of vacation season
Yeah.
with families heading out. Kids are now either back in school already or they're heading back to school quickly. A lot of people, right? I was just shocked at how early everyone's going back to school. How
Yeah.
about for you? Out in Texas, are people back in school already?
Yeah, it's kind of 50-50. I have people that are already starting back in school and others who are going quickly out for their vacation before school starts next week. My little guy starts next week. So yeah, they're staggering it. So here it's to the end, but
Here it's to the end. Yeah, out here in Indiana, I was just totally shocked that all the kids started back to school 2 weeks ago.
oh
I'm
my
like,
gosh, that is
what?
early.
That's like
Yeah.
the beginning of August. I know a lot of people are kind of like that early to mid, but oh my gosh. And everyone's like going back to college and all this stuff. So it's been fun. And
Yeah.
we, same kind of thing. We didn't really have a summer vacation plan because we had a lot of travel we'd already had. And it just so happened we had this extra time that my husband recovered very well from surgery. He didn't have to go back to work for 2 weeks. Our daughter was back here from the summer, but also didn't have to go back to college for 2 weeks. So we're like, I asked my mom and our youngest daughter, like, do you guys all want to just go? Like literally 2 weeks, 10 days impromptu. Let's look at plane tickets. Let's just go. And it was so lovely. But I realized a lot of people can't do that. And the other thing I realized is when we wanted to go, we wanted to make sure we could have this total vacation of refresh without needing a vacation from the vacation because it's stressful.
I mean, how many times in our life now we like, I need a vacation from my vacation. We either plan too much, try to get in too much, and we just never really took that vacation. And so
Yes.
sort of lost that sense of what's a vacation
What's
anymore.
this refreshing vacation, right? No, exactly. You were saying that many of your clients say that. And, before we jump right in, you guys, we're bringing this information to you. In case you don't know, Dr. Heidi and I will introduce ourselves. That my name is Kellie Lupsha, and I've been in the health and wellness industry for almost 30 years and have this passion of helping people live this full, thriving life, this abundance life, this longevity life that you can just feel good and thrive. And a lot of what we do is being sure we're really taking care of ourselves in this department of stress, downtime. And Heidi, I mean, people come to you, and I'll let you fill people in on your background if they're new to you. But the same thing, they've been other places, they're struggling with something in their health. And so they find you.
Yeah, they find me. I'm a functional medicine practitioner, naturopath. I'm also certified functional medicine clinician. So I've gone to different levels of the functional medicine, but I've been doing this for almost 30 years. And that's what people find is with functional medicine, we really just don't treat the symptoms. We go to root cause. And root cause is fueled by stress, fueled by poor eating, fueled by all these lifestyle things that we do that create an inflammatory response that generates then disease states. And so Kellie and I got together and saying, well, what's a complete health program? What's a wellness program? What keeps people from having to go to the doctor, from having disease states? And you have to really look at everything. And just like at a vacation, it's such a great topic. What's a vacation? What's your intent in the vacation? And is it really de-stressing? Because that's the point.
Absolutely. And many times, I think we all underestimate travel. The travel in and of itself is so much. The travel going, often we're just excited, no big deal. It's so fun, we can't wait. The travel coming home, depending on where you live, I will readily admit, my mom lives in Arizona and got a direct flight from Mexico to Phoenix, 2 hours. She's home, in and out, 1 hour time change, pretty easy overall. We lost time, traveled across the country, layover for 3.5 hours. And it's by the end, we're kind of tired, right? But the important thing is like, were we responsible for going back to work at 8 a.m. the next day? Like, how do you bridge that gap in on both ends of having a day to be prepared and ready, having a day or two at the other end to reintegrate? And I think the biggest thing for everybody out there that I want to ask you guys is, obviously there's all sorts of shades of this, but many people want to go on vacation and they're just like running and running and going and going and working so hard, and life is so busy and stressful, and they just think, let me just get to our vacation. So they're so wound up that by the time they're on vacation, they need day 3, 4, or 5 before they're finally like, oh gosh, I can finally let go.
Yeah.
Versus, can you live a life of sprinkling in vacation downtime, taking care of yourself, so that when the vacation comes, it's not this big, how do I change my nervous system?
Yeah.
Because you're already doing behaviors so that you're out of that true fight or flight, which is honestly, stress and the cortisol train is killing so many of us, especially women.
Absolutely. It wrecks our hormones, it wrecks our sleep. And if we're not sleeping, we don't feel like exercising. If we're not exercising, we're gaining weight, we're feeling more depressed, more anxiety. It has a big effect. And so if we can, just like you say, if we can pepper our lives and learn how to manage the stress throughout the times, we're not running till we hit the brake and launch into a vacation. It makes no sense. I'm not sure many people do it successfully. I want to meet you if you have,
Yeah.
but but if we can learn how to do that within our lives, within our activity, then we can really get to a vacation and fully embrace it and enjoy it, because we already know how to turn our nervous system off. Already know how to take that downtime.
Yes. And I think that's what you said is such a good point, is many of us in life never were taught, and this wasn't a topic to talk about, is how to regulate our nervous system and what behavior should we be doing to keep us in this regulated nervous system, because stressors will come in and out of our life, short for a day because we almost got in a car accident or somebody lost a job, or longer term because maybe we got really ill for a bit, or money got tight or something, and so the stressor's a little longer than normal. But in it, we all need certain behaviors to help ourselves get out of that stress like this and more living this. So what are the top couple of things, Heidi, that you recommend to people in their daily life that they really need to be implementing to keep themselves out of this spiking of stress and cortisol?
It's such a good question. First of all, I always tell people, remember, you always have your breath. And that sounds so like, yeah, I know. But no, do you really know? Because our breath is if we're living in the future, we have anxiety. If we're hanging out in the past, we feel depressed. Our breath is that vehicle that brings us home to center, away from living in the future and pulling us forward from living in the past, because we're focusing on our breathing. And whenever you're experiencing a lull, a down, you think, I want to grab a coffee, I want to grab a sugar, I want to grab an alcoholic drink, I want to do something to wind down. Stop a minute and just do a breathing technique, even if it's the box breathing. There's all kinds of breathing techniques out there, and there's a lot of apps that can help with that as well. But really coming into an awareness of your breathing in through the nose, out through the mouth, and center yourself. It brings your brain home. It brings your mind home, basically, home to yourself, home to your heart, to center yourself so you're not scattered. I got to do this, I got to do that. If you're just focusing on your breath, then you come back out of it with a much more clear sense of capability, of potential. I got this. Okay. Stop. I took a breath. Take a breath, that old saying.
Yeah.
Even my son's like, I need to take a breath. I'm frustrated. Yeah, okay, let's take a breath.
And
Right?
what great that at his age, he can already start learning and implementing this into his life,
Yeah.
right? Because it is critical, because for all of us, life is going to have these ups and downs. So being able to figure that out and know and sense that is phenomenal.
It's huge. Yeah. And there's times where he'll go, no, I can't take a breath. I'm too mad.
Oh, see, there you go. I like that too.
He's really honest about it. He's really aware about it. So it's funny to watch that sort of him develop that. It's really fun. And it teaches me so much. The next thing I would say is be aware of the breath, and then also be aware of the triggers that cause spikes in insulin, which is taking a sugary drink or having a caffeine. You're going to get this huge rush. And for a moment, you feel pretty good. But the downhill on the other side of that ride is a steep one. And so we get that down hit. And then you want to reach for another sugar. You want to reach for another alcohol or a coffee or some sort of, energy drink or something like that to boost you back up. And we're just going from one boost to the next, one boost to the next. This is really hard on the nervous system. The cortisol goes up and down, the fight or flight goes up and down. And so anxiety is sort of a constant state when we're doing that, when we do that. So food intake, focus on getting a meal. If you, instead of just reaching for something, look for something on the more healthy side. Nothing that's going to spike your insulin. So that's going to be a protein or a fat with a little bit of carbs. So a little bit of balance in there, and keep those spikings down. You feel better. Your brain is happier. There's none of that nervous system going, what do we do now? What do we do now? Okay, wait, we can, so you're not fragmented in your day or in your thought process.
Yes, I love that. And just kind of, adding to that is I think so many of the time, especially us women, because we're like, go, go, go. And, oh, I have to go pick up them. I have to go help him. I've got to do this. I got to be back at work. I go, like, we're always on. So we're not taking that 30 minutes of time to really nourish ourselves. So we kind of do the grab the snack on the go. And often those choices aren't great versus actually, maybe I need to eat. Maybe I need a meal. I need to eat some food because we get used to I need to change the baby's diaper. Somebody's calling me. And so you just never actually just sit, enjoy your meal, relax, satiate yourself, and set yourself up for even blood sugar. And
Yeah.
so then you're stressed in general, and then even more stressed because you haven't fueled appropriately.
Exactly. Yeah, because for women with kids and running here and then, hypoglycemia is a big problem. And when that happens, it just raises our anxiety because our body, our brain are saying, where's the fuel? Where's the fuel? And so our irritability gets activated so much more quicker. We lose our patience, and who gets to experience that is picking up the kids or trying to get something accomplished. So we have to make sure we're fueling so that we can show up in a really stable state of mind, because kids, they can't control all that. They're like, what?
That's right. That's right. And I will say, I fell into that. I often ended up hypoglycemic because in my mind, I thought I wasn't hungry. So I didn't eat, or I only ate a little because I just didn't really feel hungry.
Right.
So I didn't feel like I needed a fuel till I
Yeah.
truly learned you don't necessarily need to wait till you're feeling hungry to eat.
Yeah.
It's almost too late, right? It's like if you
It's
feel
almost too late.
thirsty, you're too late to really hydrate if you feel thirsty.
Right. Yeah, exactly. So it's almost too late. Perfect analogy. And what you always want to look for is if you get that afternoon bonk or afternoon fatigue, oh gosh, I'm great all day until around, 3 or 4 o'clock. And then I'm just so tired. You didn't fuel enough in the morning. It's not the lunch, it's the morning meal that shows up in the afternoon. So always remember that. And then another thing is that if you feel tired and you eat and you say, oh, I feel better, so we shouldn't feel relieved after we eat. We should just feel fine. So if eating relieves fatigue, then we know we haven't eaten enough.
Mm-hmm.
Does that make sense? So think about these two little cues, and that way you can kind of, oh, okay, wait a minute, I was hypoglycemic. or I didn't eat enough in the morning, that kind of thing. And sometimes we just don't know what we don't know. And those two little cues can help us become more aware.
Yes. Oh, love that. Love that. Perfect. Okay. Any other little tip you would say to help people really like in a day-to-day life? Um,
Day-to-day life, again, if we're not working out, if we're not moving, uh, it's really hard on our body cellularly to manage all the information, i.e. insulin, cortisol, stress, right? The best way to manage stress is to work out, is to move, because we produce more neurotransmitters. We activate and recruit fat storage for burning, and so we don't gain weight. And it's just that produces, so it helps manage our hormones. We are just better when we work out. Weights are going to be a big one, but truly, if you just get up with the sun, go for a walk, and be really consistent with that, that's what I would challenge people, is just start there. Just get up, go for a walk around the block. It doesn't need to be miles. It doesn't need, grab the dog, the cat, whatever animal you have, go for a walk and come back, but do it in the morning. So you wake up, your pineal gland and your eyes and everything wakes up with the sun and the earth. And we're all moving in that, I know this sounds woo-woo, in that circadian rhythm, energetic rhythm, and you set the stage for the day for you in a really powerful way.
yeah. Oh my gosh. And it's just so great. And I had a really big aha moment for us on vacation is I've now been really practicing and working on all of those things that you just talked about, right? And it's never dialed in. It's always like tweaking, getting better. And I'm never perfect. That is for
Yeah.
sure. But by establishing that over these past several years, by the time we went on vacation, I was able to continue those things I was doing, right? Even I would say add in the morning, ask, how do I want to show up for the day? Whose life do I want to bless? Have my little meditations. And we said at the end of the vacation, this was the longest week vacation we've ever had. Sometimes it feels like it goes so fast. Oh my God, and how's the time to go?
Yeah.
Because we were so present and enjoyed every moment, and we laughed and we had fun and we just enjoyed. And it was like weeks because we really were just so there and present and enjoying the moment. And, it was just nice because time is the same for all of us, right?
Mm-hmm.
And how we manage expectations, how we pack in too much, how we make sure, like you said, are we thinking about the past, right? Or are we future tensing of what's about to come and we're anxious? You really, then this whole loving, enjoying, fun presence is gone because you
Mm-hmm.
can't have that if you're out here or over here.
Yeah.
One of the things we saw, so many animals, right? Like birds, and every night we're hearing little frogs, and we had like iguanas were all over the resort. It's just so fun. Just lots of animals and a lot of nature, tons of greenery. And at this time of year in Mexico, very wet, right? We had a lot of like afternoon hour, shower. And it's like all of this in nature, they're not stressed. They're not angry at the plant next to them because they took up too much space. The iguana sitting there getting some sunshine isn't like, you know, clouds are coming in, I'm mad. Like animals, plants, the rest of this doesn't have this stress that we all hold on to.
Yeah.
So
Thank
just
goodness.
thank goodness.
Mm-hmm.
So letting go of all that to just like to just be, I would challenge each and every one of you guys so that no more do you feel like you need to take a vacation from your vacation.
Yeah. Absolutely. Be
Or you're
present, be intentional in that. Am I really going to vacation? Is this a work vacation? Or, but once you set the stage before you go into it and have your feet in the sand or your line in the sand about what that vacation is and what you want out of it. I think it's the same thing we approach a business or approach anything else. What do I want out of this? Decide and do that. Oftentimes when I'd go on vacation, I want to do something completely different than what I do from day to day. So I go on hiking trips and do something hard, but but I get to discover a new country, but I get to discover the country through their land. And that's what I really love, through their nature and their land. And it's really hard. And yeah, I probably need a vacation from a vacation, but it's a different hard, it's a different
Yes.
struggle, it's a different learning. And so I don't end up feeling more tired. I feel inspired and enriched. And so I'm pretty intentional about how I choose that kind of vacation. And then there are some where I love to go to the Bahamas and hang out by the pool.
Yep. Oh my gosh. And because you talked about that at work, I will just jump in for those of you and say, some of us talk about creating a life that like we're always on vacation. But like you have to get work done. You can't just say I'm on vacation, money comes in and you don't actually work if you're trying to run a business, right? But I thought, oh, I could enjoy and take a couple calls and while I'm there and no big deal. But I realized the mental energy and effort it took for me to shift into this, versus this like vacation, that it wasn't what I wanted. And so I just made a decision afterward. I said, I'm just going to cancel those. I'll reschedule when I get home. There's no burning. If I didn't take the call, the sky is falling. No,
Right.
it's most things can wait.
Yeah.
And so I just said, you know what? I appreciate that. And I know there are times that I can do that if needed or necessary, but if not needed or necessary, then that was okay.
Yeah.
And you can just put it aside for the moment. So
Yep.
you guys, I hope you've had vacation. I hope your next vacation, like save this podcast, save this recording, send it to a friend that's going to take a vacation, because this is really important that you can be ever so present for your health, for you and your long-term life.
Yeah, absolutely. Couldn't say it better. That's fabulous.
All right, you guys. So remember those 3 tips, right? You need to remember your breath, feel your body, move your body, as then you're going to have the best vacation ever, and not feel like you're still winding out of a cortisol land. So Dr. Heidi, thank you as always.
You're so
Everybody
welcome.
loves hearing and learning from you. And hopefully you learned something and thought, oh gosh, I've been really not vacationing how I should. And that you're going to take a few of these tips and implement them. And we want to know.
Yeah, let us know.
All
Take
right.
care,
Until next
everyone.
time, everyone.
Be well.
Bye.